The Matrix Revolutions brings the saga to a conclusion by focusing on the final confrontation between humanity and the machines, while also deepening the themes of choice, identity, sacrifice, and the blurred line between reality and simulation. The film begins with Neo trapped in a limbo-like location known as the Trayman's World, a digital space between the Matrix and the Machine City. This strange setting reflects Neo's uncertain state of existence, showing that he is neither fully in the real world nor entirely within the Matrix. Trinity, along with Morpheus and Seraph, fights to free him, and their determination demonstrates the strength of the bonds formed throughout the trilogy. Their rescue of Neo reaffirms that belief and loyalty are just as important as prophecy or power. Meanwhile, the threat posed by Agent Smith continues to intensify. Smith is no longer just a program following orders. He becomes a virus consuming everything in his path. His ability to replicate himself and infect both programs and human minds alike transforms him into a universal threat to both the Matrix and the Machine City. His existence challenges the systems he once served, and this chaotic evolution mirrors what happens when control breaks apart. Smith's hunger for dominance represents a breakdown of order, a reflection of what happens when a created system rebels against its creators. His presence becomes a central factor that will force unlikely alliances as the story progresses. Outside the Matrix, the conflict reaches its peak as the machines advance toward Zion. The people prepare for a final defense, knowing that their survival depends on resisting a seemingly unstoppable enemy. The film spends time showing the effort and courage of ordinary citizens and soldiers, which adds depth to the conflict. Characters like Z, Kid, and Captain Mifune highlight the human side of the resistance. Their determination reinforces the idea that the war is not only fought by chosen ones, but by every individual who refuses to surrender. The battle sequences in Zion emphasize the brutality of the war, with massive mechanical suits, swarms of sentinels, and a desperate struggle to protect the city's final sanctuary. Neo realizes that the only way to end the war is to confront the machines directly. He chooses to leave Zion and journey to the Machine City with Trinity, accepting that his personal fate may not align with the outcome he hopes to achieve. Their journey through the devastated world above ground reveals landscapes filled with metal towers, mechanical structures, and sky illuminated by an artificial glow. This environment emphasizes how far humanity has drifted from control over its own world. The contrast between organic life and machine architecture becomes a visual symbol of the conflict's deep roots. In The Matrix, Smith continues to spread uncontrollably. His takeover of the Oracle is one of the most interesting and symbolic moments in the film. The Oracle represents intuition, choice, and the unpredictable aspects of consciousness. When Smith absorbs her, he gains a degree of foresight that both empowers and destabilizes him. This event highlights the thematic struggle between determinism and free will, suggesting that even a being seeking total control cannot escape the influence of the choices it consumes. Trinity's death, during the journey to the Machine City, is a major emotional turning point. Her final conversation with Neo captures the sense of inevitability that surrounds the conclusion of the trilogy. She expresses peace with her fate and gratitude for the experiences they shared. Neo's grief reveals how much humanity remains at the core of his identity, even as he becomes increasingly connected to the machines. Trinity's death reinforces the reality that sacrifice is a necessary component of change, and her final act helps Neo reach the place where he can negotiate the future of both worlds. Upon arriving at the Machine City, Neo confronts Deus Ex Machina, a massive representation of the machine collective. The conversation between Neo and the machines is crucial, because it shifts the narrative from physical conflict to negotiation and coexistence. Neo offers to stop Smith in exchange for peace, acknowledging that Smith threatens the machines just as much as humans. This alliance reflects an important message. Survival may require enemies to recognize their shared vulnerability and rely on one another. It becomes clear that neither side can achieve victory alone. The final battle between Neo and Smith takes place in a rain-soaked, dark version of the Matrix. Their confrontation is not just physical but ideological. Smith, driven by the desire to prove that everything is meaningless and predetermined, clashes with Neo's belief in choice and hope. Despite the overwhelming number of Smith copies and the seeming inevitability of defeat, Neo continues to fight, showing that resistance is an expression of freedom rather than the expectation of victory. The Oracle's influence subtly guides the outcome, suggesting that even when choices appear predetermined, they carry the potential for change. Neo ultimately allows Smith to absorb him, making himself the key to destroying the virus from the inside. This act of self-sacrifice completes his journey as the One. The machines send a surge of energy through Neo's body, destroying Smith and his copies and resetting the Matrix. This resolution demonstrates that change often requires surrender, and that power can come from yielding rather than dominating. Neo's death symbolizes the merging of human courage and machine logic, creating a moment where the cycle of conflict is interrupted by a cooperative act. The war ends and Zion is spared. The machines honor their agreement and stop their assault. In the aftermath, the Oracle and the Architect discuss the future of both worlds, acknowledging that peace is possible but fragile. The Oracle's confidence in Neo's impact and her belief that others will choose their own paths represents the ongoing importance of free will. The sunrise at the end symbolizes hope, renewal, and the potential for a new balance. What makes the Matrix Revolutions particularly interesting is how it reframes the relationship between humans and machines. Instead of concluding with one side's domination, the film suggests that coexistence is the only sustainable resolution. It challenges traditional narratives where war ends with clear winners and losers. Instead, it proposes a more complex idea. Understanding and compromise can achieve what violence cannot. The film also deepens the trilogy's exploration of identity by showing how individuals shape the world through choices, sacrifice, and belief. It reinforces that meaning is not found in prophecy, but created through action. The Matrix Revolutions concludes the trilogy by merging philosophical themes with intense action, emotional sacrifice, and a message about unity in the face of destruction. It provides closure while leaving room for interpretation, inviting the audience to reflect on the nature of freedom, destiny, and the relationship between humanity and the systems it creates.